Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. So, Miss Lisa Raye is back circulating again. Her and Vivica, I'm not even going to cover Vivica. Just listen.
I don't want to stress you out by trying to keep up with my lifestyle that I already have and am accustomed to. Why? Because if I'm going to these restaurants just for lunch meetings and it takes you your whole check to take me there, I don't want to stress you out. You cannot hang with me. You are still wanting a vacation for the weekend. I vacationing on holiday for the month. We are not going to be able to make this work. That's simple to me. I don't want to stress you out.
It's simple to her, and it's simple to all the birds that agree. Here's the problem with what she's saying. She's doing the whole, I'm not going to settle, you got to be on my level situation. The problem with that is that Lisa Raye has money, right? Lisa Raye's reported net worth is about $10 million, okay? Lisa is also about 57 years old. And she does not have a husband. She was married before. She's not married now. And she's still making the same mistakes. Here's the problem with her perspective on how she's seeing the whole money thing. She still wants a man to provide for her. You don't need it. You don't need that. See, these women are always coming from a very kind of a toxic place when they say, I don't need a man for money. When they have a certain amount of money, you really don't. You don't. You don't need a man for his money. You're not in a situation where his money is a come up to you or that you need him to survive. You're not looking for a man to come rescue you, save you. You know, he doesn't have to have a certain amount of money, you know what I'm saying, or raise your lifestyle or anything like that. She's correct in that sense. She's a millionaire. And so her lifestyle is what it is, and she's accustomed to it. So since that's the case, then the money should be a non-starter. And that's where these chicks get it wrong. If money's not a problem because you have it, and therefore you're not worried about where your next money gonna come from, where your next meal, you're not in survival mode, you're in super comfortable wealth mode. If that's the case, then money's not an issue. You getting a man doesn't make money now an issue because you want him to do it. You've been doing it. And you can do it whether he's there or not. The restaurant that you talking about costs so much and this and that. Aren't you already paying for it? So what's the difference? Now, if you go with your husband, now you got company at the restaurant. It ain't gotta be a business meeting. Now you can sit back and laugh and have a good time with your husband at the restaurant. And you pay for it. And it shouldn't be a problem because you have it. This is the issue that women like her, this is why they see it so wrong. They're wrong in the perspective. Because you make all this money and then you still want a man to come do it for you, which you have to accept everything that come with it. You strove to be the breadwinner. So now you're the breadwinner. And this isn't about taking care of him. See, that's the other thing. Women like her that think like this believe that if they get a man that's not a millionaire, let's say, he ain't broke, he's just not a millionaire, right? They how can I, because I kind of lost my train of thought, but they can't, you're the breadwinner now. The money in his pocket doesn't matter anymore because you have made all the money. So, do y'all get what I'm saying? I'm not saying it right. The money is no longer an issue for you because you make it. That's what I was going to say. They think that the man, if he's not a millionaire and they continue to live their life, these women continue to live their life according to their own monetary status, that they're somehow taking care of the man. No, you're not. You're just continuing to take care of all the financial responsibilities that you had before. Once you get to a certain level, you can't expect somebody else to be able to pick up those responsibilities for you. That's for people who make average or below money. Then, yeah, once you get married, then that person's income, you can combine them. And that's not out of the way to expect. If I'm only making about $35,000, $40,000 a year, it's not out of the way to expect that my man is probably making the same, and that we do need to actually pool our money together in order to get ahead. That's not odd. That's actually expected. But once you get, excuse me, once you get into the hundreds of thousands, 2, 3, 4, 500,000, a million, you can't finding somebody that's going to join in with the money and now like help take over some of the responsibility. You can't expect people to do that. You can't expect it. And it shouldn't matter now. You've got more than enough. It doesn't matter what he has or doesn't have. And you taking care of your own responsibilities, paying for your own trips, that's not taking care of him. That you're not now supporting his lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference between y'all are together and your status is your status financially and it doesn't change, versus some guy came along and now you gotta like take care of him. He don't live with you, so like you paying all his bills and all his rent, and you paying for all of the cars, and you paying for all of the stuff that he wants, which y'all ladies don't feel like that's a problem when the shoe's on the other foot. But we ain't even gonna talk about that right now. The thing that I'm trying to say is that the money is no longer a question, nor is it a conversation. Some people make money, and instead of money now not being a problem in their life because they have it, it become a problem because they have it. Now you worried about who it gets spent on, how, you know what I'm saying, like who's gonna come into your life to quote unquote use you. Listen, if a person got that using spirit, they gonna have that regardless. But once you make a certain level of money as a woman, it doesn't matter what's in his pocket. It really don't. Because you're going to still drive the same kind of cars you drive. You're going to live in the same house you live. You're going to buy the same clothes you buying. Because at this point, you're not a financial burden to him. You understand? You've come here into this relationship with more than enough money. He doesn't even have to think about your finances. And you don't have to think about his. Now you can come together on a deeper connection than that. And I'm speaking specifically for people like Lisa Raye that's like in her tax bracket. I'm not talking about your average worker or your average person. You don't have to worry about the finances because the finances are all taken care of. That should now not be a question, nor should it be the centerpiece of any conversation in your relationship because money's not a problem. Money's not a thing now. So her saying it won't work because he can't pay a certain amount or he can't keep up with her, he shouldn't have to keep up with you. Now, since money is this non-issue for you, you have it. Now you should be able to focus even more so on the emotional connection, on the compatibility, and money is now not a conversation that you have to have with this person because who needs the money now? Nobody. Because even if he's not a millionaire, the person that you're around, that the circle that she's in, that he's probably going to be a successful businessman. He's not wanting for anything. We're not talking about a bum. We're talking about a man that don't want for it. Maybe he don't have a $10 million net worth, but he doesn't not wanting for anything. He does quite well for himself. So he's not coming into a relationship begging her. He not coming into a relationship with her with his hand out. He not coming into a relationship with her trying to figure out how he can make it come up off of her. The reason why these chicks think that way is because they think that way. They are projecting and thinking this is what I would do if I was in a position where I didn't have it and then I was looking for somebody that had it. It would be a come up for me. They think that everybody else thinks that way, and it's not. That's not necessarily true. The other point is, Lisa, you're older now. Okay? You're kicking 60 in the butt. And you talking about how what you're not going to settle for. This is why you remain single. So you obviously want a relationship. You obviously want to do it, but you still have the same mentality that you had all in your 20s, all in your 30s. You haven't changed. This is partially why your marriage didn't work, aside from, the other stuff that went on. But the attitude and the perspective that you have of life and your money and how things should go and the expectation and all of this type of thing is not realistic. And even at this big age, you still have not come to any realistic understanding about what the position is. There are only so many men that make this. There are only so many people that make millions of dollars. Lisa, if you were so wonderful, you would have been able to have a man even after your divorce. You would have been able to get another man. How long have you been around Hollywood type of men? How long have you been around successful men? How long have you been around wealthy men? Because that's your circle. And there was one point in time where Lisa Raye was fine. So she actually had a longer time to get a man than your average woman because she was pretty into her 30s. And you see what I'm saying? She was still pretty. So she had ample time to pick a man because, unlike other women who are just average looking, Lisa was above average looking. So it lasted longer. Her window was a bit longer. And then the type of people that she was able to rub shoulders with should have been nailed you a man. But you didn't. You don't have one now. And every time she opens her mouth about her expectations in regards to relationships, you see why. You see what the problem really was and continues to be. Don't no man want to hear that. Whether he has the money or not, it's unappealing. Because especially if he got money, nobody should be talking about money. Pay for the trip. Have your husband on a trip. If you want to go away for months, let's say he has a business And it would not be a good financial decision for him to not work for the month. But let's say he could work remotely or something. Pay for the trip. Money's not a thing. That's what I'm trying to get people to hear. It's now not a thing. She has so much of it, it's not a problem now. It's not, she's not going to be short. This is something that she would have done anyway. This is a budget she would have done, that she had anyway, regardless. So just continue on doing what you were doing. And now you have somebody to enjoy it with. Instead of looking at it from that perspective, she rather look at it from the perspective of somebody that doesn't have any money and looking for a husband that, and your husband's supposed to, you know what I'm saying, he's supposed to upgrade you. You don't need the financial upgrade. You don't need it. I would not be, if I were her, I would not be asking no man about nothing in his pocket. Cause I got it anyway. Whatever we want to do, whatever I wanted to do, I got it anyway. If you want to contribute something, go ahead. If you don't contribute financially, don't. They so worried about what kind of man gonna come along and, you know what I'm saying, try to use them for the money or try to do, like, you worried about the wrong thing. You 57 years old, still in desire of a relationship and can't drop unrealistic expectations and thoughts in order to come to a reasonable, rational, realistic perspective of where you are in life and who you are. You think you're still that same girl. You not Lily no more. You ain't, yeah, Lisa. Yeah, that girl Lisa. You ma'am now. Somebody run into you outside and a man happen to bump into you. Oh, excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am. That's who you are. You not, what's your name? I apologize for bumping into you. What's your name, baby? You not her no more. You an older woman. And we are as invisible as you get. I know that you're not accustomed to being invisible to men. I know that it's difficult for you to accept that your beauty has faded with age and time. And you are now more invisible to men than you have ever been in your life. It's not going to get any better. And so at this point, you have to do everything else, all of the other stuff that you never had to do before, like be nice, or not nice, but be kind, supportive, agreeable, amenable, cooperative. Have a conversation. Since you got all this money, you should have had a lot of different experiences. So therefore, your conversation should be up to par now. So he should be able to talk to you. You should be able to talk about just about anything at this point. So now you have to pull out a personality, right? Something us average chicks have always had to do. Have a personality. Because you can't get by on the looks that you used to have. That is in the past. And it is gone. That ship has sailed. It has fallen over the waterfall. It is in shambles at the bottom of the waterfall, uh, uh, crumbled upon the rocks. Okay? Now you have to have a personality, beloved. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, Sister Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.